You know, in past weeks, student expert analysts on Buckeye TV have previewed this weekend's big game versus the Wolverines, but it wouldn't be a complete game preview without hearing from a member of the media from that school up north. Sports director Jay Sarkar of WOLV-TV, the student television station of the University of Michigan, joins the program to give us an in-depth look on this weekend's 110th edition of the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry. Now, Jay, I just got to ask, it's snowing down here in Columbus right now. I just want to know, what's the weather up there in Ann Arbor at the moment?
Well, the weather appears that should be for rivalry week. It's frigid. There's blowing wind, gray skies, a little bit of snow on the ground. It's some true November Big Ten football weather we got.
Yeah, I guess you could say the same thing for here in Columbus as well. I'm sure you are aware, but Beat Michigan week here at Ohio State, it's probably the most anticipated week here on campus. And for those who aren't familiar, what's the atmosphere like up there in Ann Arbor at the moment going on at the campus of Michigan?
Well, in years past, Michigan-Ohio State week is the most fiery week on campus. Kids are posting anti-OSU stuff on Facebook, Twitter, other social media. And unlike the Michigan State rivalry, which is more focused on the in-state population, Michigan's strong out-of-state presence, they quickly latch on to the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry because it's the biggest rivalry we've got, bar none. However, this year I think the demeanor's calmed down a little bit with the football team not exactly meeting expectations, but regardless, everyone up here is really excited for Saturday.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Just breaking down the game, Ohio State, like you were just mentioning, or Michigan, hasn't had exactly their best season. They've won 9 of their last 11 meetings, and fans here in Columbus, I guess the student body in Buckeye Nation as well, aren't expecting a close game due to some of the struggles Michigan has been suffering from this season. Me in the minority, I believe that the Wolves are going to give everything they have against Ohio State. You basically throw away all the records in this game. Do you agree?
I definitely agree with you here, especially when the game is in Ann Arbor. Michigan's been absolutely dreadful some years, but the players and coaches managed to bring it versus Ohio State. Looking into the history of the matchup, the season sort of mirrors the 1993 edition of the game. Buckeyes were ranked 5th in the nation, closing on a Big Ten title, come into Ann Arbor, face unranked Michigan, and Michigan beats them 28-0 in a totally unexpected blowout. And an interesting fact is that since winning the 1961 game in Ann Arbor 50-20, Ohio State has not won by more than 11 points while playing the game here in Ann Arbor. So even in years when OSU is far better than Michigan, which is how this year seems to be shaping up, the Wolverines always manage to play hard at home.
Yeah, and you basically read my mind there. It's a one-game season with both of these teams. Once again, I'm joined by Jay Sarkar of WOLV-TV here on the Sports Perspective. Now, it may not be the season fans expected this year in Michigan, but this team does possess some weapons on the offense that could give a Buckeye secondary that has been struggling this season a rough afternoon. We often hear about Devin Gardner at quarterback, Fitz Toussaint. Which players should Ohio State key on this weekend?
Well, you just hit the nail on the head. Michigan's biggest threats come from their receiving core. The Buckeyes need to keep eyes on receiver Jeremy Gowan and tight end Devin Funchess. Gowan is a slot receiver by trade that's been all over the field this season. The 5'8 speedster is a career-high 71 catches for 1,109 yards and 8 touchdowns. Gowan is a player that can run deep using his speed, but is also shifty enough that if he catches a screen pass, watch out, the kid's got moves. And the other is tight end Devin Funchess. Funchess has been split out wide as a hybrid receiver and can make plays over the middle and on the outside. His 6'5", 235-pound frame can cause big mismatches for that Ohio State secondary, and Coach Fickle may find himself dropping a linebacker into coverage to try and stop him because so far this year, Funchess has been able to shake a lot of corners and safeties on his long catches and runs. In Big Ten play, he's recorded at least 4 catches and 61 yards in every game.
Well, and you got to remember this is a Buckeye secondary that just gave up 35 points to Illinois, and Illinois hasn't exactly been the best team all season. A lot of injuries in that Buckeye secondary as well. But let's rewind a little bit. You touched on this earlier. This rivalry, there have been 5 seasons in the past where Michigan has interrupted an undefeated season for OSU, most recently coming in 1996, which might have been the best Buckeye team of all time if they would have won that national championship. If Michigan was to knock off the Buckeyes this weekend, who have won 23 straight games, is it a successful campaign for Brady Hoke and company up there in Ann Arbor?
Well, would mark a successful season if Michigan does upset Ohio State. All the doubts about Brady Hoke and this 2013 team will be glossed over until the next season kicks off in 2014. Fans will be in pandemonium, and all the vitriol being directed at coaches and players from fans, alumni, and the media would disappear. I personally think it would be an incredible win, but it wouldn't cover up the bigger deficiencies of the team However, it would definitely ensure that Brady Hoke returns to the sidelines for the 2014 season.
All right, Jay, this last question here. A lot of fans are expected to make the drive up to the game this Saturday in the Big House. What should Buckeye Nation expect from not just the Michigan fans, but just the atmosphere in Michigan Stadium?
Well, the atmosphere, first off, I'll say don't be fooled by the outside. The stadium doesn't look that big from ground level, but once you get inside, they'll be able to tell that they're part of the largest crowd in America watching a football game. Yost's Hole in the Ground has definitely become a monument, and it's a great place to catch a game. If they're wearing scarlet and gray, expect some ribbing from Michigan fans, but nothing too awful, and they'll have a good time. That, and definitely get a bag of cinnamon roasted almonds. They serve them hot. The smell travels around the stadium. Absolutely perfect on a cold day like Saturday.
Oh, geez, did they serve those in the press box?
You can try to find them.
I might just have to this weekend. Jay, thanks so much for joining the show. We hope to see you and the rest of the WOLV-TV staff in Michigan Stadium this weekend.
Yep, thanks. Hoping to see you too, and go blue.
All right, see you this weekend, buddy.